Gracias.
Your Eminence, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, let me start by thanking the Holy Father and the Academy for inviting us here today. I think we all come with different perspectives and personal stories. For me, it's a special opportunity to visit the city of Rome, where my grandmother was born, and to be invited to speak inside the Vatican is a unique experience for the first Catholic governing mayor of Oslo since the Reformation. Successful solutions to challenges like climate change start with our own cities and require that we cooperate with citizens and peers. This is not easy, and as the fastest growing capital city in Europe, Oslo must grow while addressing these challenges. In order to achieve this, Oslo has adopted principles for growth, and those are responsibilities, accountability, and sustainability. Responsibility is our first principle for growth, and many travel to Oslo from all over the world in search of a better life. 40% of our first graders now are region descent, and the city is better for it. We enjoy a low unemployment rate in the city of around 3.5%, and we have a solid welfare state. Like many countries, Norway depends upon labor immigration for economic development. Invariably, with this growth comes the risk of exploitation. It is our responsibility also as cities to protect the vulnerable from exploitation. To take the most severe forms of modern slavery, we in 2009 made the purchase of sexual services illegal in Norway. It is not a criminal offense to be a prostitute, but it is illegal to be a customer. And listening to Carla this morning, I found myself even more certain that it is the right practice to ban the buying of other persons. Evaluation of the law shows that the ban has contributed to a lower demand and purchase of sexual services in the city as well as in Norway. Our second principle of growth is accountability. Following our principles of growth, we conduct procurement with an emphasis on social responsibility and accountability. A good place to start is enforcing labor rights. I thought I would share some practical measures we have taken in our city, within the city government, in doing this. Firstly, we have established an arena within the city administration for exchange and experience of information on economic criminality called the legal team. With this, we can make sure that, for example, the education department can share bad and good experience with contractors with other parts of the city administrations. Bad contractors will then be blacklisted. Secondly, we have a follow-up framework to check wages and working conditions to make sure that are workers on site really getting the pay and the free time as specified in the contract with the city. Thirdly, we are establishing a framework for electronic lists, standardizing how we keep track of crews on building sites working for the city. We also need to fight corruption and organized crime. Due to an alarming development of economic criminality, especially in the building sector, we have just concluded several changes in the municipality's standard contracts. Two of the most important of these are, firstly, a maximum of 2 subcontractors in the underlying supply chain of the main contractor. By doing this, we can be sure that we actually know who are doing the work for us, avoiding unlimited subcontracting and pulverization of responsibility and accountability. Second, reserving the right for the municipality to carry out necessary controls at our choosing and at our time. Ensuring clear and accountable standards, processes and follow-ups not only prevents social dumping, but also supports our fight against corruption. Our goal is sustainability. In addition to developing our city in a responsible and accountable way, we need to enable that cities develop sustainable. Oslo's goal is to cut the emissions of greenhouse gases by half by 2030 and by 2050. Accounting for 60% of Oslo climate gas emissions today, transportation is the main source of climate gas emissions. To achieve our ambitions, we need to rethink on how we look on housing and transport. Cities of the future must be densely built, where the need for transport is reduced, and by building sustainable housing around already existing transport hubs. Making it easier to walk and cycle instead of using cars will reduce pollution, and fewer cars and roads make more room for bike paths and parks. We also have a comprehensive strategy for implementing zero-emission vehicles, and per capita, Oslo now has the highest number of electric vehicles in the world, making us the electric vehicle capital of the world. Cities should also lead by example. Last year, the municipality of Oslo cut our own emissions by 22%. And because of this, I find it easier now to ask for similar cuts by our local businesses and also our local inhabitants. Leading by example makes leading much easier. For growth are much like the principles of a marathon runner. We are not aiming for a short, flashy sprint. We are working for responsible, accountable, and sustainable growth, because these are commitments needed for a long-term and successful relationship between people and our city. We know that we succeed better if we work together. This is why it is so important that we have solid and lasting foundations in place based on strong principle. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Let's take some time as well.
Yes.